to the Hard Rocket Sports Studios and another edition of the weekly video recap.
Hemp Wizard products are proudly used by former New England Patriots linebacker Brandon Spikes, Suicide Silence guitarist Mark Hillman, Canadian actor Jackson Rowe, Mr. Grimm and Noctis the drummers of Walking Corpse Syndrome, guitarist and vocalist Bub Heaston and bassist Ted Wilson of Black Sasquatch, guitarist and vocalist Adam Hines of Fester, Aaron Witzel, guitarist of Cropsy Maniac, Roy Boy, host of the Licking County Metalheads podcast, Crash Fistfight and Maxine Maxwell, host of the Musicians Hangout podcast, Jeff Towlinski, host of the Hard Rockin' Sports Show. You too can give your beard the magic touch and treat your skin.
And that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another live edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show, live from high atop Hard Rocket Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your weekly 2-hour weekly get-together where we bring you the biggest news from around the world of hard rock, heavy metal, and, of course, the wide world of sports. And, guys, welcome to Thursday, February already, the 8th in the year of our good Lord 2024. And, guys, it's the Super Bowl show. I can't believe it's here already. We are days away from the big game. Now, are you excited? Are you pumped? Is this a big game? There's a lot of storylines. I have to tell you that my interest in the Super Bowl this year is not great. Listen, this is two good teams. You got a couple storylines. You got the Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. Are they headed toward the GOAT status? They got a long way to go. I don't think Reid's going to get there. Mahomes, I don't know. We'll see. We can have that debate tonight a little bit. Mahomes, Brady. I got an interesting piece I'll throw at Jeff on it. And you guys can obviously join in on that. Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan, he was the offensive coordinator for the Falcons when they got beat by the Patriots, run over in the second half, lost to the Chiefs a couple years ago as head coach of the 49ers. I think this is, there's a couple of storylines, but to be honest with you, there's no juice to this game. Again, not to belabor it, Dan Campbell ruined the Super Bowl. I've heard other people. I heard a guy interviewed yesterday. They were 14 of 16. Going for it on fourth and less than 3. But it wasn't in the playoffs. It wasn't against a good team. It wasn't in a certain spot. Dan Campbell ruined the Super Bowl. There is no juice to the Super Bowl. It's a game. It's the Super Bowl. We'll watch it. Wings, commercials. We'll see who wins, but there is no juice to this game. Nobody cares unless you're in Kansas City or in San Francisco. Nobody really cares who wins this game unless you got a bet. That's it. That's the bottom line. I don't care. I'll root probably for the Chiefs because I don't like the 49ers and I hate Kyle Shanahan. He wears his hat flat. Put a bend in the hat, dude. Bend the hat. He looks ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. So I will probably root for the Chiefs. But at the end of the day, I really don't care who wins. I'll bet the game, and we'll see what happens. But we got a lot to get to. I got a huge announcement. I'm going to start the show off with it, and then I'm going to get Jeff on. But we got a lot to talk about. We got the Super Bowl. I want to know, is there a villain in this game? The Super Bowl, sometimes you got the good and good versus evil. I got an idea who the evil is in this one. I'm going to give you the villain. We'll talk about our picks. I'm going to do our top 10 franchises of the Super Bowl era. not teams, top 10 franchises. So it's not the 74 Steelers and the 68 Packers. It's franchises of the Super Bowl era who have been the top 10. I have my top 10 list. I hope Jeff does. We got a new segment tonight called Versus. I don't know what it's about. Jeff's going to spring it on us tonight, so we'll get to that. We'll talk about Patrick Mahomes' dad getting arrested. We'll talk about Belichick and Brady, Belichick, Vrabel, and Pete Carroll all out of work right now. We'll talk about Jeff's music topic. Toby Keith passing away. Yes, guys, Toby Keith passed away. And we'll talk a little bit about that. And that's it. That's all. And then, like I said, I got a huge announcement. My huge announcement is Taylor Swift has endorsed Joe Biden. Sleepy, creepy Uncle Joe. Can't stand, can't walk Uncle Joe. Taylor Swift has decided to endorse Sleepy, creepy Uncle Joe, which means, simply put, she's dumb as a rock. But if Taylor Swift is endorsing Sleepy Joe, I have to give this great consideration. So I'm going to announce that because Taylor Swift is endorsing Sleepy, creepy Uncle Joe, I'm going to announce my candidate for president of the United States right here in the air. And yes, I like Taylor Swift, and I'm going to go not with her. Donnie Trump, baby. So, sorry, Taylor Swift. Right here, the Hard Rocket Sports Show, we endorse Donald Trump for president. As much as anybody cares that I'm doing it, I hope nobody cares that this woman endorsed Joe Biden. Because if you're endorsing Joe Biden, you are a complete moron. You can tell me you want to vote against Donald Trump or the GOP or whatever, but any person who tells me they're voting for Joe Biden, you have got two rocks in your head, and I'm counting you probably don't have one. Okay? If you're looking around this country and you have around the world, and you have any idea to vote for him, it just tells me that she's a moron and can't be taken seriously in life. So that's it. I just thought I'd have a little fun with that. The Hard Rocket Sports Show endorses Donald Trump. I won't speak for Jeff and his personal view. That is my personal view and the personal view of this show. Having said that, let's get to the real fun of the show and move on. All right, so to get this show kicked off the proper way, let's get my buddy of 40 years and my best bud, Mr. Jeff. I wish my team was a top 10 franchise, Towlinski.
We are a top 10 franchise, man.
Only in losers.
Anyway, what's going on?
Not much, my man. How was your week?
It sucked. It really sucked. It sucked more than any other time I tell you that a week sucked.
Yeah.
No week has ever sucked.
Yeah, but this week you got a big gig coming up, right? So you got to be pumped up for that.
Yeah, I do. It just sucked.
All right.
I'll have to tell you off the air. I wouldn't want to mention it.
I hope everything at home is okay, but
everything at home is fine.
Okay, so it's the employment, I would imagine, is troubling you.
When isn't it?
I got you. Yeah, me too. It's been a bit busy week.
To take a massive cut on my pension just to get the fuck out of there. I think about it every day.
Do you really?
And add up numbers that can't be changed at all. And I continue to add them up because I keep hoping and praying. So
you keep hoping you put the comma in the wrong place, or there's a decimal point where it's not supposed to be.
God, yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I gotcha. Well, Jeff, listen, all we can do is hope for Lotto or somebody out there scrolls past the internet and sees the Hard Rocket Sports Show and gobbles us up and pays us a few $1 million to do this every week.
I would like to address what you said about your endorsement.
Please.
Okay. One, this is my thing. Okay.
I
am not big politically. You know that.
I know you're not.
Okay. But
we
must understand where we are right now in our state as a country, and it's not good. And there's so much shit going on in the world. It's unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
And I am sorry, but Joe Biden, if you voted for him, you really are something wrong with you. There's something wrong with this man. They just said that he had documents
Mhm.
that were found in his house or wherever. I didn't catch the whole thing.
In his garage. In his
Yeah.
garage. They have a photo of him driving out of his garage, and there's presidential records or vice presidential records, I guess, from his time as vice president. But yeah, there's all sorts of documents in his garage, and they let him off the hook.
Yeah, and they don't want to press him on it because they say he's going to come off as the kindly old senile type gentleman.
Yep.
That so it'll be okay.
Yep.
So, which I don't understand. And now, you know what? Listen, Donald Trump, whether he had records or not, Joe Biden, whether he has records or not in his house. Here's the thing: why are you taking records like that home with you in the first place? This is stuff that should be, if it isn't archived someplace, it should be shredded. They shouldn't even have access to it once they're out of the job. That's how I feel. You know, it should be someplace where it's needed, kept for as long as it needs to be kept, and only looked at by the right people, not stored in somebody's house or garage or bathroom or whatever, because they once were president. And I mean, just to show you how I feel about it, at my job, somebody sent us a YouTube video. There's some asshole going around all the city buildings saying that they're public buildings, and that he is able to go into these public buildings unmolested and ask the workers questions there. So they, of course, got all panicky and put up signs all over the buildings.
Right.
So my front door, my 2 doors into my office have signs that say unauthorized personnel, authorized personnel only.
Right.
Okay. I sit at a desk. There's a counter that's less than 10 feet away that I have keys. I now take all of those keys and I watch them until 7:30 when everybody is done getting their trucks. And then I put them back inside just in case this asshole happened to come. We used to leave them on the counter for the next shift
Sure.
to come in. That comes in at around 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, these are keys to vehicles. I'm not leaving them there.
Sure.
And I wouldn't let anybody past a certain point because there's people's banking information, people's personal information in my office.
Sure.
And some of these people I can't stand, that I wouldn't care less what happened to them and their information, but I'm not letting anybody get it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then these assholes take home presidential records. Like, why would you want this stuff in your house? I don't know.
This seems to be a common thing. I supposedly like Obama took out like 900 boxes or like 90 something ridiculous boxes of presidential records. See, the thing is, when they're still president, they can declassify certain documents, and they can then take those documents with them. There's stuff that I don't know belongs to them, but part of their records, and a lot of them wind up in museums that they belong to. Some of it hasn't been declassified. I don't know. They've gone through some of the stuff for Trump and Biden, and some of it's classified, not classified. It's a gray area. None of them should do it. I agree with you. None of them should do it.
Just that makes no sense. It shouldn't be.
Unless it's you personally wrote down some notes that that belong to you. I kind of get you. You probably can, but to me, nothing should walk out of the archives. Nothing should be in your house, in your garage. I mean, Trump at least had it in a locked room in his mansion, and the Secret Service. You can actually see a picture of Biden driving out of his garage, and there's a box, and you can see the files like sticking out of a cardboard box.
Yeah, I don't
like
understand.
completely ridiculous. But listen, to me, all of that is just political theater. Huh?
They're total disregard for these records.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay? If you're going to say something stupid like, "Oh, I didn't realize I had it," well, then I guess it's safe to say that you don't realize what's in it. And if you're going to say you don't realize that's in it, is there going to be a memo that you sent to anybody saying that you were getting ready to bomb Russia or something?
Yeah, we plotted to shoot Putin or somebody. You know, I mean, like, you don't want. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's ridiculous, and I completely agree. They should not be able to take these records home. If they should have to pass through a certain screener, and then if it's no big deal, they could go to a presidential museum, because they all have museums, and you can go in a museum for people to view for 100 years if they want. I don't know who goes to presidential museums, but regardless, it shouldn't be in somebody's house and not have been screened by somebody. But
you're 100% right, but it is what it is.
Absolutely. But if Taylor Swift is really going to endorse Joe Biden, if you haven't seen the guy is completely incompetent, if you haven't seen that he's basically a figurehead and they're only propping him up there to get to this to try to get him elected so that Kamala can take over or somebody else could take over. I don't know who it's going to be. you can't possibly think this guy could survive. I'm surprised he's even able to stand up now. I watch him on TV now. He can't even speak. The guy can't even. This week, he was giving a speech and he was talking about thanking the president of France. The guy was president 40 years ago. He thanked the guy. There was a speech earlier this year where he thanked the person. He was looking. He goes, "Where's Representative so and so? Oh, they died 10 years ago." He's completely shot, and that's fine. And I don't want to get too off this. We got Super Bowl stuff to do, but
hey, listen, better late than never. At least he said it.
Yeah, it's true. You're right. Maybe
he's one of those guys. When you're holding on to something that you want to say it, and like you just never got the chance to say it in a conversation. Yeah. That was probably him.
You're probably right.
And all of a sudden it hit him like, "Oh man, where is so and so? I forgot to."
Yeah. Well, he died 10 years ago. All right, tell him I said hi.
He left? Oh, he left. Oh, Adam Hines. What's going on, man?
What up, Adam Hines? So anyway, on the way to Hard Rocket Sports show, not Jeff, the show itself endorses Donald Trump for president, and hopefully he'll get there.
Yeah,
and,
listen, I by no stretch will vote for Biden or any of that nonsense. Yeah. But I just cannot get behind him, man. I'm sorry.
I get it. I said I get it, but I am not voting for another 4 years.
Was going to get in there.
I can tell you I'm not voting for what we got thrown through now between the migrant problem, between our foreign policy problems, our fuel problems, and our inflation problems, and the list goes on.
Our fuel is the least issue that we have, unless something new came up in the last couple of days. That's the least. The migrants, that's not even a problem anymore. There's so many of them here. They're neighbors now. It's like, welcome. Come on.
Yeah, it's
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's frightening. But let's get on to the Super Bowl and a lot of other things. Jeff's got his big his new segment Versus, which I have no idea what it's about. I'm sure he's going to tell us. We got some music tonight. I want to talk a little bit about I got a John Bon Jovi thing, and Jeff's got himself a music topic, and we got a lot to get to. So we're going to kick it off tonight. It's a Super Bowl show, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the Hard Rock and Sports show for the next about an hour and 40 minutes. But let's get my dad on. Let's see what he's got to say, and then we'll kick right into the Super Bowl and have a little fun. So sit tight, and there's my Pops. What's up, Pop?
What's up, guys? I like your program.
Thanks, you, Dad.
For
yeah. The Super Bowl, it's hard to go against, Kansas City.
Yep.
Because they're still the champ. When somebody's going to take the title away from you, whether it's boxing, hockey, whatever it is. So until they get beat, they're the best in the country.
I would agree. And, here's the thing. When you analyze this game, and we will tonight for a little while, but, guys, when I put it on paper, I go, okay, what team has the best offense? And I said, well, I think Kansas City's a little better. McCaffrey's great, but I think Mahomes is the better quarterback. I think they have a better offense. And then when I put that, then I say, who's the best unit on the field? And it really might be the Chiefs' defense, Jeff. I mean, for the first time, Spagnuolo's a really good defensive coordinator. He's won 4 Super Bowls, I believe it is at this point, heading for number 5, hopefully. It's going to be hard to pick against the Chiefs in this one.
Listen, the Chiefs, of course, they have a lot of experience on their side and everything else. And Patrick Mahomes has got to be one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the NFL. But, for the longest time, the Chiefs didn't have a good defense.
Yep, agreed.
So, is their defense good enough to stop the 49ers? When we watched the last time we seen the 49ers play against the Lions, they were moving the ball at will, it seemed. They weren't being held back, that's for sure.
Well, let's think about it. I mean, they should have lost the Packer game. If Dan Campbell doesn't blow that game, they lose the Lion game. I mean, Dad, this is a 49ers team that I think is kind of lucky to be here. Now, that doesn't mean they can't win this game, but I don't think they've necessarily run through the gauntlet in the NFC.
Yeah, I hear you, but listen, the Lions, it's unfortunate that they didn't make it further than what they did. It would have been nice to see them make it to the next step, but that's spilled milk, and we're done with that.
Yep.
But out of all the other teams that are in there, I guess you have to say that the 49ers look like the best team to play a good game against the Chiefs. The Chiefs just a few months ago, 2 months ago or so, didn't look like the team they are now. This is their time of year.
Yeah.
You know, as long as they stay hot, they should win.
Dad, you know, if you look at the Chiefs, they beat the Dolphins, they beat the Bills, and they beat the Ravens. They beat the three best teams in the AFC to get here. You got to give them the juice to win this one, Dad.
I agree, and it's going to be hard. They got the better quarterback.
Yep.
The tight end. I mean, all that garbage with that girl.
Yeah.
That's so stupid. They're making it sissy like. I mean,
well, listen, listen. You're gonna watch the game. I'm gonna watch the game. Jeff's gonna watch the game. There's a lot of people gonna watch the game, right? Here's the difference. She's got 20 million, 10 million fans. Most of them are young teenage girls who probably would not watch this game. Now they'll watch the game just to see what she's wearing, what she's doing, and you'll get that many more people, that many people paying attention, and they're playing it up. And I listen. I think it's dumb, but I understand why they're doing it, Dad.
Oh, I would, if I was the NFL, I would do this. You might as well take advantage of it.
Sure,
I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
The NFL doesn't need to take advantage of this. This is just free money, more free money for them.
Absolutely.
How much is enough, though?
God knows how much.
Yeah, but how much is enough?
You know what, Dad? What you've learned right now, it's never enough. They'll sell it off. You know, you're playing games. You're playing games on Thursdays now. You're playing games the day after Thanksgiving. You never did that before. You have playoff games that are now on on pay-per-view. Basically, honestly, it's what you're learning. And now it looks like Fox, ESPN, and Disney are teaming up to have a streaming service that you're going to get some of these games on those because they already own the rights. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have the free games, but it's coming where you're going to pay to watch football games.
Yes.
You're gonna. It ain't that far. Yeah, it's good. It's coming.
Even if it was a nickels, I wouldn't get it.
Just get it in the playoffs.
Yeah,
they did it with that playoff game. They already set the precedent.
Yeah,
and if anybody paid for the game, they'll do it.
That's what you want.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is here's my prediction. So every Sunday you're going to get a couple football games. It might not be the best games. It's going to be random games. And if you want to watch your team every week, you're going to have to buy a package from somebody to watch your team. So you'll get football games, but you might get Atlanta and Carolina at 1:00, and you might get Tampa and Miami at 4:00. But I'm a Giant fan. Oh, well, you got to pay for the Giant package, and you can watch the Giant games. You might get lucky. Next week might be a Giant game, but if you want to see all the Giant games, you're going to have to buy.
Well, they're doing it right now with hockey.
Yeah,
and basketball.
Yes, but that's a little different. Only in the sense that MSG and yes, a few years ago had the same problem. They are getting locked out by the cable companies. The cable companies are trying to charge them a big fee to put them on, all that stuff that goes with it, and so they're saying, "Well, screw you. We'll put our own package out because we're not gonna put up." So not that I like it, but I understand that one. So they're saying, well, we'll offer our stuff to people and we won't pay you, cable company. And
they're putting, I hope they do put the cable company out of business because they're going to do with apps. They were talking about it on TV.
Absolutely.
They're going to have MSG. They're going to get rid of all this sports garbage. You're going to have MSG. You're going to have the Rangers, the Knicks, all the sports.
Yeah, it'd be Rangers, Knicks, Yankees, and the Nets all on one app. Yeah, the only one that won't be on there would be like the Mets. I think the Devils are on SNY. I'm not sure, but anybody on SNY would not be on that. But all the other teams that are on Yes and MSG, you would get through an app. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. You pay a couple of bucks and you get it. And maybe. Eventually, cable's going to go away. It's headed that way. Hopefully, only problem I have, I hope they fix it where you can flip from app to app easier than
yes, it is now.
Yeah, because I like flipping channels. Like I want to go game to game. God.
I'm not into that stuff only because I don't have no idea how to use it.
That's
But
me too.
my wife was showing me some of the apps that we have on the TV.
Uh-huh.
There will never be an easy way to flip between
Yeah,
them.
that's
Leave them open. You know, it's like operating a phone. You got to go from one app to another to another.
Yeah, that's the problem. And me, I'm a big flipper. Like, I hate commercials. So I'm watching one game or I'm watching a show, commercial comes up, I go to the other one. But if you can live, if you can live in one app for a show or a night, then you can basically get rid of cable because you can watch all the stuff on different
You're
apps.
going to get a lot of phone calls from me.
That's okay, Bob. Keep them coming. But yeah, so that's the only thing. So all I say is, to get back to the Super Bowl again. Here's the problem I have, guys. Dad, there's no juice to this game. Like,
Wow.
Here's a question I was going to ask Jeff. I'll ask you first. Is there a villain in this game? Like, most of the time, you want to root for one team because you hate the other team, right? So I don't like the 49ers, but I don't really hate the 49ers. I think in this Super Bowl, I think the Chiefs are the villain.
Yeah.
I think, well, the Chiefs are the better team.
No, I know they're the better team.
Okay,
I'm
but-
saying I get they're the better team. I'm saying is there a team you go, I just don't want that team to win? Like, they're if the Ravens were here, I hate the Ravens. They're the villain. I want them to lose. I don't care who they play.
You know,
I don't have that here, but I think
let
it
me
is.
ask
the
you a
Chiefs.
question. Have you
Yeah.
heard the latest gimmick? They're
No.
putting odds out that if they win the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
Kelsey, whatever his name is,
Yeah. Travis Kelce. Yeah.
is going to get down and ask her to
Propose?
marry him.
Oh my God. I gotta tell you.
No, but there's actually odds.
Oh,
and
I'm
they're
sure.
taking bets.
Oh, I'm sure there's prop bets on everything. Dad, there's a prop. We'll talk about some of them tonight, but there are prop bets on everything. You want to bet on this game?
No,
Everything, guaranteed.
no. All right, I'm going to let you guys go.
All right, pops.
'Cause I know you got to. I'll see you over the weekend, Tommy.
Yes,
Jeff,
you will.
Enjoy your weekend. Take care, buddy. Say hello.
Be good, Mr. Florio. See you
Take
soon.
care, buddy.
All right, Dad. That's my pops. He checks in every week with us, and I'm glad to have him still around and still doing the show with us.
I'm,
Hey,
I'm glad that you just brought up about Travis Kelce and
Go ahead.
Taylor Swift. I'm hoping and praying that there is some leaked footage of Super Bowl night if Travis Kelce wins. I hope they hack his phone, everything. I hope Taylor Swift is all the songs that we've been listening to for God knows how long that seem like she's this innocent, scorned woman. It just is a filthy, dirty whore. I hope Travis Kelce is hung like a light switch and it all comes to light and they have to hang their heads in disgrace.
This is what you're hoping for.
Yeah. I hope Tyreek Hill makes a guest appearance.
I was thinking Antonio Brown. You know what?
Yeah, him too. That'd be good too. Patrick Mahomes comes out and spits on somebody.
Antonio Brown comes right out of the bedroom with his shirt off, throwing off his gear.
Yeah,
that's
there you
the one you want. That's the
there
one
you go.
you
Now
want.
you're thinking that's what we need to see.
Yeah, that's exactly what we need to see. Hard Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tom here hanging out on Thursday night talking Super Bowl. But Ring Bro's always listening. There will be something leaked. You kids, Mal. Hey, but Jeff, is there a villain in this game? Is there a team that you would say they're the villain?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Who's the villain to you?
the Kansas City Chiefs.
Why? I agree with you, but why?
Because one, that here they are again in the Super Bowl, okay, on the doorstep to another victory, another championship.
Right.
Two, every time that they win a Super Bowl, if they win another one,
Right.
it brings them 1 minute closer, one game closer to tying and possibly beating Tom Brady's all-time record
Mhm.
for most Super Bowls. Okay. Now already Kansas City has been in, I'd have to count, but if I'm correct, this is what, like Super Bowl 5 or 6 for them that they've been in.
So let's see. They've been in. This is 5 in the last. This is 4 in the last 5 years, and then they had the one back in the '60s. So yeah, this is their fifth. This is their fifth Super Bowl. Yeah, fifth Super Bowl.
You know,
Yeah.
that's in modern history. I mean, listen, a lot of these teams are going to start piling up some big numbers of Super Bowl appearances just because they've made it on several different occasions. But you know, this is a team where a lot of people might not like Patrick Mahomes. They might not like Andy Reid. That alone people are going to get tired of seeing him. That alone is going to give them a bad guy status and put a target on their back.
Yeah, listen, I can't root for the 49ers, and I really can't root for the Chiefs. So this is a game I'm just going to watch. It won't kill me whichever team wins. I guess, I am still not putting Mahomes and Reed in the Belichick Brady category yet. I think it's way too premature. Those guys went to 7 and won 5? No, they went to 8 and won 6, right? Brady won 7, right? So you're not there yet. You could get there. Let me ask you this. I heard this week. I thought it was a great question and an even better answer. If Mahomes plays his whole career and ties Brady with 7, let's say he does 7 Super Bowl championships, same amount, basically all the numbers are the same. Is Patrick Mahomes the GOAT? Is there a question on who the GOAT is? And let me ask you this. Will it matter that Brady beat him head-to-head twice? Once in the Super Bowl and once in the AFC Championship game. Head-to-head, Brady won. So if they finish tied, does that matter?
Well, no, I don't think it would matter. I think it would come back. I think it would come down to career stats. I mean, listen, you could say the same thing about Brady and say that Eli Manning beat him twice. Does that mean that Eli Manning is a better quarterback than Tom Brady? Only a maniac would ever say that.
Right.
And I mean, let's be honest. Yes, he won against him twice in the Super Bowl. And, as a Jet fan, that was a hard Super Bowl. You want to talk about a hard Super Bowl to watch. That was a hard Super Bowl for me to watch, but I was happy to see Brady lose because I just don't like Tom Brady. So I was happy that he lost. But, I mean, does that mean that, because he won in the Super Bowl, that Eli is the better quarterback? I don't think his body of work is big enough to say that. As far as Mahomes goes, he's playing at a very high level. All right, so he had a down year. I would imagine most people expect him to rebound and have a solid year next year.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that it's a wait and see type of thing.
Of course.
Going into next season.
So let me ask you this question before you go any further. But let's say we were comparing Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. And they both have the same records. We've watched both of them fight. You compare. You can't really compare because they never fought each other. Now I know that it's not Brady versus Mahomes, but if you're giving the lion's share of the W's or the credit for the W's to the quarterbacks, if everything winds up close, they wind up a few thousand yards off. They're a couple extra touchdowns, same championships. To me, the fact that Brady beat Mahomes head-to-head gives him the advantage. He beat him not once, beat him twice with two different teams. To me personally, Jeff, I know you disagree. You've already said it, but I think that gives Brady the advantage. I think Mahomes would have to exceed Brady by far. Otherwise, to me, Brady is still the GOAT.
Tom, Patrick Mahomes could hand the ball off on every single play from now until the day he retires, and his passing records stay exactly what they are. And I would still say that he's a better quarterback than Brady if he ended up with the same amount of Super Bowl victories, because I can't stand Tom Brady.
Well, I
hate Tom Brady as a player and for what he did to the Jets and the AFC East, that Mahomes could give up 100 touchdowns and 5,000 yards, and I'd still say he's the greatest of all time.
So then I can't get a straight answer out of you on this.
Well, you get a straight answer. I just told you my answer. I don't like Tom Brady.
I get it.
I think that I understand what you're saying and you're asking, but I'll be honest with you. I think that by the time it's all said and done, hopefully we're alive long enough to actually see that day. But I think if it comes down to it, I think that they're going to be very close. I mean, the guy has 3. This will be his 3rd trip to the possibly 3rd Super Bowl championship. This will be his 4th trip to the Super Bowl, and the guy's in the league, 6 years, 7 years? So he's doing all right for himself.
No, listen, I think Mahomes is having a great career. If it ended tomorrow, he'd be a borderline Hall of Famer already. He might even get in based on what he's done and accomplished so far in 6 years. I'm not knocking any of it. I'm just saying to me, he had an opportunity to beat Brady, and I know listen, there's 10 other guys on the field with them at the same time. There's 22 guys playing in the game at one time. It's unfair to give them too much credit. I certainly get it, but when you kind of line up the things, to me, Mahomes almost has to do a little bit more because Brady lined up against him and beat him. But let's not belabor the point. It was just a question. I heard it this week. I thought it was a great way to look at it. Some way I've never looked at it before because they actually did pop onto the field at the same time twice, and I think it's a fair conversation to have.
Kansas City lost to New England, but Holmes only lost the Super Bowl once.
Yes, to Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Okay, so where's the other win against
AFC Championship game? Right before the year before that, when they went the last time the Patriots went to the Super Bowl, they beat them in the AFC Championship game.
That's because it was rigged.
Anyway,
listen, I know two gentlemen right now that swear every fucking game in the NFL is rigged.
Oh,
and are basing it on the color of the fucking banner of the fucking Super Bowl poster.
Yes.
So if they could say that shit, you know what? Brady was playing, the game was rigged.
All right. I won't argue your point, but again, we're going to talk a little about the game itself. So let's get into the game a little bit. After we talk about the game, we'll come back. We'll do are you ready to do your verses, whatever this is?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a quick, just a real quick, what it may be. It's something of a yesterday and today type of thing.
Okay.
So, it could be just about anything, but I want you to be ready. I want you to have an open mind, and I want you to be able to think. Can you do that?
I'm not sure I can think and breathe at the same time. I'm not really sure,
That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking.
I'll make it my best effort. How's that?
That's all I could ask.
There you go. So also before I forget, I do want to do a minute now. Just the start of Jeff's next dead list. One of my favorite new musicians and artists passed away this week. Toby Keith. Actually, Toby Keith Koval passed away this February 5th from stomach cancer, a 2-year battle at 62 years old. And I've only recently discovered Toby Keith as an artist. I knew who he was from a bunch of he was in a few of the celebrity roasts, and but I didn't know much about the guy. And I am a huge fan of his music. I will get Bullets in the Gun, American Ride, White Trash Money, Beer for My Horses, one of my favorite songs. There's so many I kind of can go through a whole list. But it's a shame. Toby was taken from us way too soon. If you really don't appreciate, you need to. If you're an American and you like songs about being patriotic, take a listen to some of Toby Keith's stuff. American Ride is a great one. It's another one that it's escaping me the name. Anyway, just a real shame. USFL Oklahoma Outlaws. Tons of he's from Oklahoma. A bunch of the teams have set aside things for Toby, and our condolences to his family. But I thought I had to mention. I'd like to have played some music here, but I'm not allowed to, so I'm not going to. I don't want to get the show taken off the air. So anyway, rest in peace, Toby Keith. And if you guys get a chance, really go to YouTube, play some of Toby stuff, and you won't be disappointed. Anyway, back to the Super Bowl, Jeff. So let's go through the quick analysis of the game. I'd like to get after your verses. We'll do the top 10 franchises in the NFL during the Super Bowl era, and we got a bunch of. We'll talk about some of the prop bets and all of that. So, Jeff, for me, this game comes down to I still think the Chiefs have the best unit on the field, and that's their defense. I think the 49ers are a bit overrated defensively, and we're asking a lot of Brock Purdy, who has not been great. Hasn't been terrible, but he hasn't been great so far in these playoffs to go ahead and outduel Patrick Mahomes. Now, I think for the Niners to win, they have to keep this game close, which I don't think they can do. So, for me, this game comes down to how well the 49er offense can match the Chiefs offense, and I don't think they can, even with all their weapons. So I don't know how you feel, and we'll take your analysis before we give our picks, and we'll get into a little bit of the over-unders and prop bets and all that good shit.
Well, I got to say, I think that I'm not going to say that you're underestimating the 49ers. I think the 49ers have a lot of weapons, and I think they have some good weapons. I mean, Brandon Ayuk made maybe the second luckiest catch, or maybe the first luckiest catch that I've ever seen in my life. Okay, and when I mean lucky catches, I could say the one of the Giants in the Super Bowl, the immaculate reception, and now Brandon Ayuk catching one off of somebody's face mask.
Yeah,
probably the three luckiest catches in NFL history. Okay, and maybe throw in Odell Beckham Jr. for good measure. Okay, with that one catch that he made when he was stretched behind him. If he didn't make that catch, maybe they don't make the Super Bowl. I know what you're saying about Brock Purdy, but listen, he seems to be doing the job. Plus, they got Christian McCaffrey, so they have some weapons.
Absolutely,
and they could keep you off balance because you don't know which way they're going to go. I hate Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm. Oh, do you?
Oh yeah, because I wanted to see the Lions win. And every time they hand him the ball, this guy's getting like 10, 12 yards a carry, it seems. I haven't hated a running back so much since fucking Danny Woodhead.
Oh, really? You hated Danny Woodhead, huh?
Oh, fuck Danny Woodhead. I hated him because he was on the Patriots. And, here they are, 3rd and 5, and he gets like 17. I couldn't stand him.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I can't argue at that point. But, so let me ask you this question. Do you have as much faith in their defense stopping Mahomes as the Chiefs defense stopping Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey?
I'm not, until they start doing it, I'm not basing anything on anybody's defense because I think both these offenses can score. I think you're going to have a Madden type football game.
Okay, so you think this is one of those whoever has the ball last type of things?
Yeah, I think so. Whoever makes the stop and then scores again.
Gotcha.
Kind of thing.
Okay, so
And
one
so
mistake, one pick, and changes the whole outcome. Now it's 2 scores up type of game, and you can't.
But you know what? Listen, the 49ers came back from that situation just a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
So you can't even turn around and say that, yes, that's it. You know what I mean?
No, I completely agree. Listen, I think this is a very close game. I don't see a blowout. I think for the Chiefs to win, it has to be a high scoring game. I think if the 49ers are going to win this game, it has to be low. Because I think their defense has to stop Mahomes. And if they can't, I don't think Purdy, I think he's been okay. I think he's done a decent job. I don't think he's been terrible at all. But again, like I said, they should have lost the first 2 games of the playoffs. They should have lost either one of them.
Purdy, but you got to remember something too. Purdy, everything that Purdy is doing now in these playoffs, he's doing for the first time.
Correct.
Okay.
100%. Yeah.
Where Patrick Mahomes has done it.
Yep.
And he's won. So this is he's in his element.
Oh, absolutely. Sure.
He's in his element. The only thing to make it better for Patrick Mahomes is if they were playing outside in a cold weather place someplace and it was like 5 degrees.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah. I think this, but again, the game's got no juice for me. I mean, are you openly rooting for the Chiefs in this game? Or are you just sitting back and whoever wins, you prefer the Chiefs to win? Are you openly rooting for a team?
My preference would be for the Chiefs to win.
Okay.
But I kind of feel like you. But then again, honestly, every year the Super Bowl is like that for me. The teams that I would really like to see get in it by the time as the playoffs progress, they seem to get knocked out by the wayside. We went how many years with pretty much the Patriots are going to get in on there. They are. Now it's the fucking Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. People get tired of seeing the same team in there all the time.
Oh,
I don't want to use the word dynasty. And I also don't want to see a team, like this year was the Chiefs and the Niners. Next year it'll be the Bengals and the Lions. Then the year after that it'll be the Titans and the Packers. I don't want to see that. I don't mind if a team hangs around for a couple of years and, gets the possibility to get in and win. Maybe they win 2 Super Bowls in a row. But it's hard to watch a team like the Chiefs. You know, that's why I think that they're going to be the bad guys in this Super Bowl, win and get in year after year after year. It's like, all right, let's get Joe Burrow in there. Let's get Josh Allen in there. Even Lamar Jackson.
Mhm.
You know, would this have been a different game if the Bills and Josh Allen were in it, or Lamar Jackson and the Ravens? Would people look at it differently?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I think, yeah, I think yes. I think it's the tiresome thing. Unless you're in Kansas City, you know, you don't know. You're tired of. You wanted the Bills. You wanted maybe the Ravens. I would have rooted against I would have hated the game, but I just wanted some. I wanted different. I wanted the Lions. That's the bottom line. I wanted the Lions in there. I wanted the Lions and the Dolphins when the playoffs started, and obviously we didn't get either one. So we're stuck with the game we have. That's got no real juice. I'm hoping for good commercials, which we haven't had really in the last few years.
No, we haven't had anything.
Yeah, to me, there hasn't been a standout commercial in a long time. You know, one of those that you go to work the next day. Did you see that commercial? You know, where you laughed at it, or you thought it was really cool. Hasn't happened.
No,
it really hasn't. So yeah, and so to me, you know, I'll throw a few dollars on the game. I'll have a few prop bets, which I'm going to throw some bets at you and see what your thoughts are. We'll make our picks and then we'll move on. We got a couple other subjects, and like I said, I have my top 10 franchises. Hopefully you have yours, and we'll talk about your verses, and we got a few things. So we'll get to that in a second. So Jeff, the game right now is Kansas City favored by 2. No, 49ers are favored by 2, which I find a little odd. And the over-under in this game is 47.5 points. So, Jeff, if the show said, Jeff, we're spotting you $100 to make a bet on this game, how would you bet this game?
Jeez, man, you know, that's a hard one, because with so many different prop bets and stuff around, do you just bet on the game itself? Or do you bet?
Let's start with this. Let's say you're going to use $50 right now on the game, and then I'm going to throw a bunch of props at you, and you'll decide which prop bets you'd make.
Well, one, I don't like to see such a low spread. Yeah. What's up, man?
What's up, Bobby Finelli?
I would like to see it makes it a little bit more exciting to me. It kind of separates the teams.
Okay.
2 points, 2.5 points to me. That's like these teams are pretty evenly stacked.
Yeah, it's a pick'em game. It's a pick'em game at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, if I was betting a team, I would go with Kansas City in the 2 points. I take the 2 and go with Kansas City.
Okay, I would agree.
Touch the over under.
All right. Yes.
Only because I think that it's a lot.
I do not think it's. Actually, I don't. I think in pool of work, I took the Niners in the under. So for here, though, I would tell you I like the Chiefs. I like it a relatively low scoring game. I think it's a 1-score game, 3 to 7 points. I do think it's an under game. I do not think this will be a Madden game. I think there's going to be a little more defense than expected. I think both teams are going to want to run the ball, and I don't expect a lot of mistakes. So
you know what? The Chiefs scored 17 against the Ravens.
Yep.
In the division round, they scored 27 against the Bills. Did they play the wild card? Wild card, they scored 26 against the Dolphins. Week 18, Mahomes didn't play.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to look that one up, but go to week 17, and we had, where the fuck are they? The Chiefs scored 25. So they actually haven't been lighting it up.
Yeah, that's my point. And I like I said, I think the Chiefs defense is really good. I think this is a Chiefs win 24-17. Could be 24-20. Huh?
You're thinking close.
Yeah, I do. I think this is a 1-score game, and I think this is more defense than people expected. I would be surprised if there was a lot of big plays. I think, first off, you're going to get a lot of you're not going to get teams throwing the ball all over the field like we think. I think it's a lot of short passes, a lot of running, and I think both teams played the run pretty well, although the Niners are a little suspect. So I really do believe that this is a Chiefs win, close game, less than a touchdown or a touchdown or less, and I believe it's an under 47.5. That's the way I would bet this if I bet this weekend. So that's the way I see it. Jeff, you have a prediction score-wise?
Score-wise, nah. But I don't think it's going to be over 47. I think it's going to be maybe like, I don't want to be held to a score, but I have 24-21, 24-17 type of game.
Okay.
I think 47 is a high number. I just don't. The Chiefs are not the high-scoring team they once were. Patrick Mahomes kind of proved that this year.
I couldn't agree more. Now, do you have I'll give you some prop bets for the thing. Do you have a prediction on Super Bowl MVP with Mahomes and obviously Brock Purdy are the two favorites to be the MVP? Who would you pick if you were throwing a $5 wager? I could give you a whole bunch of them. I'm able to share the screen so I can share the screen with you.
You know what? I'll tell you right now, if I was picking the Chiefs, I would take Mahomes. If I was picking the 49ers, I would go with McCaffrey.
All right, so these are the prop bets. So here's all your props for guys who could win and the odds. Now, it takes you all the way down to, if you wanted to throw a $5 bet on Mitch Wisnowski, it's 100,000 to 1 that Mitch Wisnowski, who I think is an offensive lineman, would be the MVP of the Super Bowl, which obviously we know probably won't happen.
Listen, a $5 bet is
Well, I mean, you could get down to guys like Richie James is 50,000. He has a chance. Richie James, don't forget Desmond Howard won the MVP returning punts in the Super Bowl with Green Bay and the Patriots. So if you bet Richie James, he returns a couple of punts for touchdowns. A $5 bet gets you $250,000.
Yeah, listen, I hear you, but listen, anything could happen. Anything could happen. I don't know what an offensive lineman's going to do. Maybe recover 3 fumbles and score 2 touchdowns.
Listen, that's it. So let's see. So there's a Super Bowl special. Either team to kick a game-winning walk-off field goal at the end of normal time. Yes or no? Will an offensive lineman score a TD? Get you 4,000 to 1 odds, Jeff. Let's see. What else?
Bets like that, I could see betting the walk-off field goal before I would bet the offensive lineman scoring a touchdown.
Let's do Gatorade color. So color first Gatorade report on the winning coach. You can pick the color. I don't know if you can see them, but there they are right there. Purple, yellow, green, blue, no Gatorade bath, red, orange, and clear Gatorade. So I guess that would be water.
I think either yellow or green, man.
I would say so. Let's see. We got some other ones real quick. We got some. So I would think also it's green. Combined TD scorer jersey numbers. So I guess they add up the jersey numbers of the guys who score touchdowns. This is one I've never heard before.
That's a cool one.
Yeah, jersey number of first touchdown scorer, over 22.5 or under 22.5. That's interesting. That is an interesting one I've never seen before.
I like the combined touchdown scorer jersey numbers.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I will be making some bets. So we have the cross ones also. Let's see. Who will have more? The Boston Celtics team points or Kansas City rushing yards?
Wait, the Celtics are playing a game on Super Bowl Sunday?
Sure. There's always basketball games on Super Bowl Sunday. So they're saying
– you guys must be pissed, huh?
Right. So will the Boston Celtics have more points than Kansas City rushing yards? That's an interesting one. Who will score more points? Is Kansas City Chiefs or Kristaps Porzingis?
Wow.
That's an interesting one. Who will score more points, San Francisco 49ers or Jimmy Butler? So there's some interesting prop bets. Those across. Let's see, did I do the Super Bowl specials? Okay, passing TD rate. Any play to throw 7 TD passes in a game? I don't think that's likely.
No, I wouldn't touch that one.
Yeah. How about Super Bowl passing? Any play to have 506 plus passing yards? That's
another one I don't know about.
Yeah. See, that's one you throw $1 at it. You never know. You throw $1 at that one, and you win $15,000. So that's one you throw $1 at. Let's see anyone. Any play to rush for 205 yards in the game, $3,000. And that's another one you throw a couple bucks at, and you never know. Could somebody go off and have a big game? Sure, why not? Any player to score 4 TDs in the game, Jeff. That's another one that's out there. Oh, I got one. How about for the Swifties? Yeah, I got here we go. Any quarter to have 22 plus points scored. Anti-hero. Brock Purdy, 250 passing yards and 2 TDs.
That one I think is a decent bet. I could see that one.
That's 200 to 1. That's not a bad bet. Blank space. Travis Kelce to score an octopus. I don't know what an octopus is.
I have no idea.
You're going to have to look that one up for me. How about this one? Brock Purdy throws 300 yards, 3 TD passes, and the 49ers win 1,000 to 1.
Oh.
Let's see. Anything else that's worthwhile? How to get the girl. Travis Kelce scores a TD in each half. That's an interesting run. There's some decent ones over here on this Swifty one. And let's see. Anything else here? Super Bowl specials. Let's see. I think we did that one already. Super Bowl repeat. Any play to have 150.
Oh, I got what the octopus is.
What is it?
Just so you know.
Go ahead.
The octopus is Travis Kelce did one for Philadelphia. I mean, not Travis Kelce. Jalen Hurts. He ran in both a touchdown and the ensuing 2-point conversion against Kansas City 1 year ago. I guess hence 8 points, the octopus.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I've never heard it called that way. Never heard it called.
No, neither have I.
All right. So
never once I've ever heard it that way.
I'll be making some prop bets. If you're interested in getting involved, Jeff, I'd be happy to lay it out and make some bets. Something you can watch the game with. It's up to you. A couple of bucks here and there. We have some fun, but you let me know if you want in, and I will place the bets for you. So,
thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. But so again, guys, Jeff and I, we both seem to like the Chiefs. Jeff likes more of a runaway game, a lot of scoring. I kind of like it on the lower side. And but we're both expecting a Chiefs W at the end of this. So we'll see what happens. We'll be back, of course, next Thursday. We'll kind of break down the game. You know what? I do hope it's a good football game. Like I don't know what'll grab my attention. Like something's got to happen in the game to grab my attention. Otherwise, I'll just be hanging out watching a football game, having a couple wings. And
what are you having for dinner?
You know, it's funny. I was talking to my wife about it, and, you know, we do something different all the time. And this year, she said, what do you want to do? And I said, you know what? I don't know. Maybe we'll go out and watch the first half someplace, have a couple of wings, a drink or two, and then go home. I'll watch the second half while I half fall asleep. And I said, well, maybe we'll just stay home. I'll order some wings. You know, Sundays, I hate going out anyway. I got to get up, goddamn 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work. So you know, so I half thought about taking Monday off to kind of enjoy the game. But I said, why waste it? I'm not. If it was a game I really wanted to watch, if it was, God forbid the Giants were in it or teams I was, maybe if the Lions were in it, you want to stay up to the end of the game and you want to really be involved, I might have changed my mind and maybe taken the day. But I'm going to go to work, so more than likely we'll probably just order some wings from Anthony's. And maybe get a couple appetizers and watch the game. You guys do. Your wife makes your chili, right?
Yeah, she makes chili and a shrimp cocktail. Always very good.
Very nice. Very nice.
I don't know if the shrimp cocktail is on this year.
Oh, really?
I don't know. She may want to make something different. I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever she makes, whatever's easy for her.
Yeah, I've been I don't want to call it dieting. I've been kind of watching, and this week I kind of gained about 5 pounds from what I lost, and I kind of went this week and I kind of lost that whole 5, and I'm kind of on maybe I'll try to lose another 5 or 10 right now and work my way to where I want to go, my goal weight. But I'll probably go nice and light right till Sunday, and then maybe Sunday I'll blow it up a little bit with some fresh mutts and some wings and the like. So, but I mean, I would tell you that I probably won't watch much of the pregame shows this year. I usually do. I love watching the pregame shows, but I really don't have any interest in the game this year. So I would tell you, I'll probably do some other things and then tune into the game whatever time it starts. I would guess it starts at 6 or so. I didn't see.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, me either. But so we're looking forward to it. Again, I'm going to be making some bets, and we'll probably have a cocktail or two. We haven't drank in a while, and we're gonna have a nice quiet weekend. And like I said, life's busy right now for us with with work and some other things, and just trying to keep ourselves busy, Jeff. So, but you got the big gig coming up on the 17th, right? Was it Big Nose Kate's?
Big Nose Kate's, yeah.
Very nice.
The Ramorons and the John Collins Band.
Oh, double dipping, Johnny is nice.
SCB. SCB.
Very cool. Big Nose Kate's, great venue. I've been there. I've seen Jeff play at Big Nose Kate's before. So
yeah, I've played there a couple times. It's okay. I heard that they changed owners. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find that out when we go to play.
All right. So, but the 17th, get out and see not only the Ramorons, but the Johnny Collins Band. And again, March 2nd, Jeff and myself and a couple of buddies are getting together. We're going to jam. And that'll be fun. I've been working hard on some tunes. I even started working on you put this song in my head and I can't get rid of it. So I started to learn it. It's your the Lido Shuffle.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Yes. I like it. It's actually a fun song to play.
Yeah.
So I've been toying around with it, playing a lot more than I have been the last year or so. But so I'm looking forward to playing a little and seeing the boys on March 2nd. And of course, but again, the Ramorons are coming. Anything else 25 mission wise? You guys got anything coming up?
No, nothing right now. I have something in the works, an Alice in Chains cover band.
Oh, nice.
That we've been working on. We're trying to get another date to practice, but that's moving along slowly, but inching, hopefully the right way, trending the right way, as they would say nowadays.
Yes, trending the right way. All right, good. Good. I love when you're busy. I love when you're playing because that's what you love to do. And everybody loves to see Jeff up on stage doing his thing. So, and again, guys, we're heading toward 10 years this July. And Jeff and I have to start thinking about what we're going to do. We have to do something to market, whether it's a special show doing this, I don't know, or doing something live someplace. I don't know. But we do need to mark the fact that 10 years on the air doing this together. One shape or form it needs to be addressed, in my opinion. So we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll just do what we do here every week and invite a bunch of people on and have a bunch of guests, people who have appeared on the show in the past, or maybe a live event someplace if we can find the right place. And maybe one of Jeff's bands will kind of provide the background music for the event. We'll see. That's July. We'll get to let's get through February and March and April and all that to good. So, Jeff, it's time. Let's talk about your new segment. There you go. Finelli votes for a live event. But, Finelli, that means music, and you hate when we play music. So be careful what you ask for. So, so, Jeff, what's this new segment versus, as you call it?
Well, I've been listening to a lot of Iron Maiden the last week.
Okay.
And I was thinking, I was like, how much has this band changed over the years? And then it made me think of other bands that have changed over the years and certain things, not just music and bands, but sports, the way sports are played, different teams, whatever. So I'm thinking like versus, like this versus that. What was better?
Oh.
Iron Maiden. What was better? The original Iron Maiden lineup with Paul Di'Anno as the singer versus the present day lineup we have with Bruce Dickinson and the other guys, Yannick Gears, and now with an extra guitar player. And the first one that I'm going to roll out is Iron Maiden.
Okay.
And me, I'm a fan of the first two albums, but let's face it, they didn't really hit it big until they put out Number of the Beast and Peace of Mind. Within their first four albums, you had Iron Maiden, Killers, Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind, and that's where the band kind of really made it. What was better, the first two Iron Maiden albums versus the following albums, 3 and 4?
Oh,
okay, yeah, that's a loaded question, man.
That's an interesting debate because there is no 3 and 4 without 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 to me are masterpieces.
Of course.
Right? I mean, the first album, while not your typical Maiden album, like if you take the next 3 Iron Maiden albums, that first one is completely different. It's more punk.
Yes.
The sound is completely different.
Very raw.
Yeah, 100%. But that is a classic album. That is an album, and there aren't a ton of them ever that you could say are front to back great tunes. I mean, there's probably not more than one song on that entire first album that you would skip over if you were listening to that album.
I was listening to that album earlier this week. There was none to skip over. And when the album was over, I was like, holy shit, it's over already? Because I just had it on and I'm listening to it while I'm at work. And it's like, what do you say about this album? It's great. It's incredible.
Yes.
And then that gave way to Killers. Some of the greatest bass lines Steve Harris has ever played. I mean, don't get me wrong. Number of the Beast. I mean, without Number of the Beast, I don't think you put out Peace of Mind. Like they continue to grow. They grew a little bit after each album.
Yes.
But I mean, it's just some incredible stuff. And I know that you could go on, but I think the biggest thing with the verses with these two bands was switching singers from Paul Di'Anno over to Bruce Dickinson. My question to you is simply this: if they kept Paul Di'Anno for another album, do some of the songs that were on Number of the Beast ever see the light of day? And what songs do you think were written with more of a Paul Di'Anno feel off a Number of the Beast than a Bruce Dickinson feel?
Wow, that is a really great question. And I'm about to bring up the album so I can go and tell you that for sure. So Number of the Beast, Wikipedia. That's the wrong one. Hold on. Oh boy. Obviously the song Number of the Beast, I think is written. Let's see, Iron.
That's a total Bruce Dickinson song.
Yeah, I mean that's
maybe not written by Bruce, but definitely written with Bruce in mind. But I can tell you right now, before you go through the whole album, to me, Gangland, I can hear Di'Anno singing that, and The Prisoner.
I would agree with that. I also think Run to the Hills is one I could see him singing.
I don't know. I think there's too much screaming in that, and you know, I don't know.
And I'll tell you another one, Invaders. I think Invaders could be a classic Paul Di'Anno song. Hey, David Burns, nice for you to join in and tune in from Cedar Hills, Texas. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I would tell you, Jeff, there are some songs here. He couldn't do Children of the Damned. He could never do 22 Acacia. He could never do Hallowed Be Thy Name and Number of the Beast.
You know what? I would like to see him do 22 Acacia because it would have been the continuation of Charlotte the Harlot.
That's true. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna change my mind on that. You're absolutely right. So I'm gonna change my mind and say that yes, he could probably have done that just in the same vein. But the question becomes, it's Iron Maiden versus, is it the Di'Anno era or is it the Dickinson era? Because really, after Peace of Mind, while I still love Maiden, and there's still some good tunes on Power Slave and Somewhere in Time and some of the other albums, it really comes down to those first 4 albums, and it really comes down to which version of the band do you prefer. Take out the drummers. I don't think it's a big difference between the 2 drummers. It comes down to the singers and what you prefer. Well, I've always said my favorite Maiden albums vary between Number of the Beast and Peace of Mind. So I would have to go with versus the Paul Di'Anno era.
Well, one, you got to think that, you know, out of the first 4 albums, you had Clive Burr 3 times as opposed to Nico McBrain only once.
Correct.
Okay. Although Nico has been the drummer for Iron Maiden longer than, you know, Clive Burr could have been in the band. Of course, we know that. You have an even split in the 4 albums with the material, but the material changed too much in the first 2 albums, and the material was more the same for Number of the Beast and Peace of Mind than it was Iron Maiden and Killers. I feel.
Yep.
You know, so I would have to say, as far as consistency, I would have to give it to Bruce Dickinson and the guys for the 3rd album and 4th album.
Yep.
As far as growing potential, I would think that they showed more growing potential from the first to second album. I'm about to get attacked by my cat.
No, I agree with that because I think Iron Maiden, I think changed too much after Power
You know,
Slave.
I want to get somebody to introduce you to the cat.
Okay, good. I think the Maiden that I love changed too much after Power Slave, or actually with Power Slave, and not for the better. And it's gotten actually worse to the point now where I can't listen to anything new from Maiden. Hey, a cat.
This is Linda.
Hi, Linda.
That's the name she came with. I call her Cat.
Okay, cat. Hey, Linda, cat.
Well, not Linda Cat, just Cat.
I call her Linda Cat. That's all right.
I'm gonna call her a pain in the balls because Basil's over there asleep on the bed, and Basil's very afraid of the cat. So she wants to jump up on the bed and fuck with the dog.
Very nice.
Yeah. And I could get ready to feel her building up to the point where she's about to explode. Unless I find a good spot to scratch her.
Now, I didn't know this. All tracks on this album were written by Steve Harris.
Which album?
Number of the Beast.
Okay. Just Steve Harris alone?
Well, that's what it says. Is all tracks are written by Steve Harris except where noted. So it's The Prisoner was Adrian Smith and Steve Harris. 22 Acacia was Adrian Smith and Steve Harris. And Gangland was Adrian
Clive
Smith
Burr.
and Clive Burr. Yes, I did, which I did not know. So I'm surprised Bruce had no hand in writing this album. I thought Bruce had a hand in writing this album.
Check. Can you check Peace of Mind?
I can, sure can.
And Dave Murray, I think out of all the years Maiden is around, I think Dave Murray had one writing credit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just read that not too long ago.
I guess Dave's a little on the lazy side.
Oh, I guess he was just content.
He's content to be a background member. So let's see. So it says, Where Eagles Dare, Steve Harris. Revelations, Bruce Dickinson. Flight of Icarus, Smith and Dickinson. Die With Your Boots On, Smith, Dickinson, and Harris. The Trooper is Harris. Still Life, Dave Murray creeps in.
Wow. All by himself?
No, Dave Murray and Steve Harris. Quest for Fire. Quest for Fire is a very underrated song. Harris. Quest for Fire is Steve Harris. Stun and Steel, Dickinson and Smith. And To Tame a Land is Steve Harris.
To Tame a Land is an incredible song.
Absolutely right. Yeah, I see the second side of this album with Still Life, Quest for Fire, Sun and Steel, and To Tame a Land is a very underrated side.
To Tame a Land.
Oh,
To Tame a Land, I think, is the first song where Maiden shows what they're about to be.
you're 100% right. 7.5 minutes. Yeah, it's you know what, Jeff? I would have never thought of that. I thought everything came off of Power Slave, but you're right. That is the last track on the album is the clear sign that they've gone in a different direction. Because all the other songs, there's some 5s and 4s and 3s. That's 7.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So you're 100% right. There was a reissue on the album with Cross-Eyed Mary, which I say is one of the greatest music covers of all time. The Iron Maiden version of the Jethro Tull classic. And then also a cover of "I've Got the Fire" by Montrose is on the that. But Number of the Beast, boy, I tell you that is so. Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell you that to me, while I love the first two albums, that second two albums and that version of the band, it's just completely different and headed in the direction where. At that point where I loved it, but it got too far off the beaten track after that.
Well, listen, I feel as though that I was a big fan up until No Prayer for the Dying, I think it is.
Okay.
That's when they started to lose me. But even that album had a few good songs on it. And other than Shinjitsu, whatever the fuck the name of it is, and a couple others, I just didn't catch on with some of those because I just never listened to them. I never had the urge to listen to them because No Prayer for the Dying and Fear of the Dark was okay. Okay, those two albums, they kind of made me lose interest in Maiden, and I might be missing some great songs. I don't know, but I don't really care to know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, all of those albums, and I'm just brought up the Iron Maiden history, not to go too far outside of what you're trying to accomplish with the segment. And I think it's a good one. I think there's a lot of ways to go with this. But Iron Maiden classic, Killers classic, Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind classics, Power Slave. I'll say it's a classic, but it's a little less. Somewhere at times, a good album, really good. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, good album. No Prayer for Dying, good album. Now you get to Fear of the Dark. It's okay. The X Factor has one or two good songs. Virtual XI is okay. Brave New World is a great album. There's a lot of good stuff on that. And then it goes Dance of Death, Matter of Life and Death, Final Frontier, Book of Souls, and Senjutsu. All have a song or so that are okay. After that, it kind of dies out on you.
Brave New World. I want to see if I even have that album on my phone.
Oh, I saw that concert. That was one of the best concerts you're ever gonna.
I don't think I have that one.
Uh,
I myself have Book of Souls, Fear of the Dark, Final Frontier, Iron Maiden, and some of these albums are just songs. Iron Maiden, Killers, Number of the Beast. I got a couple from No Prayer for the Dying, Peace of Mind, Power Slave, Seventh Son, and Somewhere in Time. I got all of them from Somewhere in Time. Some of these others I don't even have as songs on my
this album, if you ever get a chance, The Wicker Man, Brave New World, Blood Brothers, great albums, great songs. After that, the album's good. There's a couple of these. The Ghost of the Navigator is a good song. There's a couple decent ones. But those 4 or 3 really great tunes on that album. I saw that concert, was fantastic. It was them. Opened up was Halford's band, and then Queensryche, and then Maiden. Great concert. I
gotta take a quick squirt. I'll be right back.
All right, it's okay. Hard Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tom hanging here on a Thursday night. We talk a little Super Bowl. We talk prop bets. We made our picks. We just talk a little Iron Maiden right now for you. Hope you guys are enjoying it as much as we are. We're on for about another 40 minutes. We're gonna do our top 10 franchises of the Super Bowl era. And I got a couple other topics, and then Jeff's got a new music story. Maybe we'll go right to that. And then we'll wrap this up about 9 o'clock. And we really do appreciate you all hanging in there with us on a Thursday night. Not much happening. The NFL honors will be kicking off, which other than I want to know who's getting in the Hall of Fame, which to me, the NFL does a poor job of that every year. There's too many guys. I hope Randy Gradishaw, our good buddy Frankie Catalano, put it up. Randy Gradishaw, the old linebacker from the Denver Broncos Orange Crush days. I think it's a guy who should be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm hoping that and then the NFL Man of the Year, which is the Walter Payton Award, which I think is probably the biggest honor they have now. I don't think anybody even cares about MVP and all that. It's just about who gets the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. And that's pretty cool. So hopefully Saquon Barkley will win that. In the meantime, we're just sitting there hanging out on a Thursday night. Getting ready. Next week, we'll be turning our attention to baseball. We're going to be doing our baseball show. We'll talk a little Yankees and Mets. Some of the big off-season moves by the Evil Empire now, as they're called by many people, the LA Dodgers. We'll see with all their moves. So next Thursday night, I think our good buddy Paul Gill will be joining us to talk some baseball. We'll finish up the Super Bowl. We'll turn our attention a little bit to baseball. We don't do a ton of baseball on the show, but we will. And the show gears on football, but we'll certainly get our baseball in with the upcoming baseball season. So,
are we meeting up Saturday morning with our friend?
I am available this Saturday. If you are, to me, this will be the last show, I think. I'm not available the week after. And it's getting a little busy for me at work. And then I need to kind of turn my attention more to getting ready for March 2nd. I know it's not that big a deal to everybody else, but for me, I want to make sure I got my parts down to jam. So, yeah, I'm available Saturday if you are and John is, and we'll do an hour Saturday.
What is the I got to ask. I know I haven't spoken to you much this week, and maybe I'll give you a call over the weekend and explain to you what's going on, because I could use a fresh voice all
over for you.
Well, what is your hopes of this jam on the March 2nd there? Are you just hoping to get together once in a while here and there, or are you hoping to see something blossom out of this?
I don't hold out much hope that anything will blossom out of it. I think one, you're too busy. I know Jimmy doesn't want too much on his plate.
I don't think Jimmy has a plate at this point in time.
Well, he said that they were taking the winter off, so that whole whatever that band is, that will be back in the spring and they'll be back to playing. Maybe not quite as much. Would I like to get together a little, maybe once a month or once every other month and jam? Yeah. Would I mind if maybe we did something kind of one-off this summer? Maybe had some sort of a show and that was the lineup that did it. I would love that, to be honest with you. Do I see that in the future? Do I see being able to practice 6 or 7 times before a show and getting? I don't. So I don't hold that much hope. But to me right now, it's just more, hey, this went really well. Let's get together next month and do another day and then see where it goes.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, that's how I kind of, there's a lot of factors in this, and getting Ronnie involved is a tough thing. He's got a tough schedule, but the fact that he's the guy who wanted to do this was pretty cool. So
I want to tell you something about. I forgot to snag the article, but Blue Oyster Cult. I don't know if you heard this. They're announcing their final album.
Yes, I did see that. I did not snag it, but I did see it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts of that?
That's a weird band. That's a band that's been around forever. I have a couple of, I go back to like 8th grade, and friends of ours played in a band, Plastic Glass and a bunch, and it seemed like everybody did that song. Like Don't Fear the Reaper was a big song for those guys.
Yeah.
So I love the song Godzilla. I think it's one of the best guitar riffs of all time. Just the guitar sound in that. I'm a big fan of that. I would not say I'm the huge. Oh boy, hold on. Wait for the program. Jeff, you still hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear
okay.
you.
Yeah, my computer telling me it wants to shut itself off right now.
What's that?
My computer is kind of cycling. It's telling me Chrome is not responding. So you might lose me. I'll come back. I'll keep going for now. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan, but I do like a few songs, and I think my favorite part of them was what was their off stage name? Soft White Underbelly.
Nancy, by the way, how you doing, Nancy? Soft White Underbelly. Oh, there we go. Tommy is gone. I don't know if anybody else could hear me, or if I'm just talking to myself. We'll wait for Tommy to come back on. But yeah, the name of the band to start off with was Soft White Underbelly, and that they came out in the early 70s. And that was a long time ago, right? And I don't know if that means that they're going to end up retiring or whatever, but it's, another band that maybe fallen to the wayside, which is kind of sad in its own right. But this is what happens with the older bands.
There we go. I'm back. Sorry. Yeah, this happens. Hey, Nance, how are you? Nice.
I was just saying.
Soft White Underbelly. Yeah, I never picked up on that when we were kids. Like, Maiden used to play Charlotte the Harlot. They were all playing at the L'Amours. I missed all of that. Them sneaking into the clubs to play under those names. But again, is it the last album and the last tour, or is it just the last album they're doing?
They say last album, but I mean, not for nothing. The Blue Oyster Cult, I'm not a huge fan. I only have a few songs, and if you go, let me see, Blue.
So let's see. So their recording career with Ghost Stories is their last. The 50th anniversary of Blue Oyster Cult. Gearing up for the release of Ghost Stories is the name of their album. Again, I have a hard time investing in some of the old band new stuff lately because none of it's been any good. That's the problem.
How are you, Nancy? 13 albums.
Good. That's just doing a show on two old guys doing a show on Thursday night.
Yeah. They started in 1972. They put out albums in 72, 73, 74, 76, 77, 79, 80, 83, 86, 88, 92, and then nothing until 2020 and then 2024. There's one album that I don't even see here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know where it is. And then
Now-
they had a bunch of live albums, a whole bunch of live albums. But there was one with Joan Crawford on it.
Now, their current members are Buck Dahmer, Eric Bloom, Danny Miranda, Staten Island's Richie Castellano, and Jules Rendino. This is a band we've had Albert Bouchard and Joe Bouchard on the show as members of that. And there's a laundry list, I'm assuming, of members of people who've been in this band. Let me see if I can get the that's the card. So former members: Alan Lanier, Albert Bouchard, Andrew Winters, John Weisenthal, Les Braunstein, Joe Bouchard, Rick Downey, Jimmy Wilcox, John Rogers, Ron Riddle, Chuck Berge, John O'Reilly, Bobby Rondinelli, Rudy Sarzo, Chasm Sultan, our good buddy Chasm. Here's another one. Maybe Nancy's related. John Maselli played drums for them. Greg Smith and Al Petrilli. So a laundry list of people in the Blue Oyster Cult band. And one of the great tours of all time, Jeff, the Black and Blue tour.
Yep.
Black Sabbath and Blue Oyster Cult. And somewhere in the 80s that was, I'm going to guess. Which
Late
I'm not
70s, early 80s.
I would definitely say 80s only because I remember being a young lad into heavy metal and hearing about that tour and not allowed to go. My father would not allow me to get tickets to go to that concert.
Why not?
I was probably 14.
See, that's what your father was mean, man.
Yeah. See, now when my first Maiden concert.
I have to keep going. I have to make a dog rescue.
Yeah. So
the cat keeps fucking with the dog right when they're together.
yeah.
She has enough of the dog. She swats the dog's head, and the dog doesn't know what to do. Now the dog is like, "What is going on here?" So now when the cat jumps on the bed, the dog sits up. Now the dog has no eyes. The cat has one eye.
Oh boy.
So you think that they'd be like, kind of tight, like let's help one another?
Well, so it should be more like the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, or the semi-blind leading the blind. You know?
Yes.
And it should just simply be like, listen, I could smell things from a mile away. You could see things from a mile away. Let's become unstoppable here, but they skirmish, you know what I mean?
But yes, that my first concert on my own was a Iron Maiden concert with Jimmy Galicchio and Joey Gansas, which I believe I snuck out to go to. I think I did one of those. I'm sleeping at Joey's house and went to the city to see Iron Maiden and Quiet Riot at the Garden, which was, I think, 83, if I'm not mistaken.
Jesus, wow.
Yeah, so I was all of about 15 years old or 16 years old. So my dad at the time had some rules, and one of the rules was I had to be home. It was probably a school night and or weeknight, and I had a curfew, and that curfew didn't allow me to go to Manhattan on my own. But Joe Gansas and Jim Galicchio and myself went to go see Iron Maiden. So
I remember your brother and Joey going to see the Screaming for Vengeance Number of the Beast tour.
yes, yeah, another one that stuck out to. Yes,
Yeah, and I remember being in the car with my mother and father, and they were on the bus stop to go to the concert.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was so pissed that they were going.
Yeah.
And I was just like, motherfucker, they get to go. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Well, what are you gonna do? I was, too young to say anything, do anything. And they were waving at me in the car, like, ha, Dick.
Yes, that one of the greatest concerts of all time, Maiden and Priest and Screaming for Vengeance / Number of the Beast. I did not go that. I went the next year for the next one. I saw the one after that, which I was allowed to go because I believe I was just about to graduate high school or had just graduated high school, one or the other, for the next one. But that was me, Joe Gansas, and Jerry Brusco, who, by the way, wore his white motorcycle jacket, which was completely embarrassing, by the way, at the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
let's do this top 10.
Yes, all right, let's move on. Again, Hard Rocket Sports, that's Chef. I'm Tom. We're here every Thursday night. Thanks for tuning in and hanging with us. We got about another 29 minutes. We got a great audience of people watching us tonight. The board's lit up, and I appreciate Nancy and David and Robert and my boy Adam Hines all checking in. So thank you for doing that. There's plenty of people saying hi other ways, and I really do appreciate it, including David Burns from Cedar Hill, Texas. Thank you, Dave. Anyway, Jeff, let's do our top 10 NFL franchises of the Super Bowl era. So, there was a Post article, and they had done this whole point system, and I didn't want to get into that. To me, I thought it was an interesting article to say it's not about the best team. This is not about the 74 Steelers or the 85 Bears or the 2006 Patriots. This is about what franchises over the last 57 years have been the best overall. And I thought it was an interesting topic. So I don't know if you want to go your list. You want to hear my top 10?
Yeah, let's do yours.
All right. So I'm going to work my way 10 back to 1. I'll give you my top franchise. I'll give you a quick reason why I think this team is a top franchise. And quick, make it as fast as possible. I don't want to bore everybody, but I got something to say on our show. All right. So number 10, Jeff, I'll give you 2 teams that didn't make my list and were on the outside look. 3 teams, actually. I got the Vikings. Were close. They're one of the most winningest franchises in the last 57 years. They went to a bunch of Super Bowls, never won any, and a lot of success in the last 20 years, going to the playoffs consistently. They didn't make it. Neither did the Redskins, who've won, I think, 3 Super Bowls. They just missed making the list, and so did the Miami Dolphins. And I know that's a tough one, and if Frankie Jeffries listening, he's going to ream me out. But it's been a long time since they had real success. Most of their success was the early 70s. They've been consistently good. They've been a decent franchise, but they went a long time, Jeff, from the end of the Marino era to pretty recently as a team that was in 3rd or 4th in their division consistently.
Yeah, no, listen, I hear you, but listen, as far as Frank goes, if you were talking about what soup you're getting for lunch, he would drag the Dolphins into it and tell you why they were a great team and why next year they're going to be the top team in the league. So I'm glad that you left them out of the conversation.
So those are 3 teams that did not make my list. They were on the list. I had to pare it down and everything. So number 10 is the Buffalo Bills. They've been consistently a great team for the last decade or better. They obviously 4 Super Bowl appearances, no wins. But over the course of the last 57 years, they've been I would say since the late 80s, they've been a fairly consistently good team. And I think that 4 straight Super Bowl appearances has to get you on the list, even though you lost all 4. Again, one to my beloved Giants.
Well, 4 in a row, I believe.
Yes, they lost 4 in a row. So the Bills made the top 10 at number 10. Number 9, I put the Chiefs. Yes, the last few years they've been great. They won a Super Bowl back in 1968? 70, right after the Jets, yep. So 1970, they win a Super Bowl with Hank Stram. But a lot of lean years in between. They deserve it because the last few years they've been completely dominant in this era of Andy Reid. And even before that, they had some good years with Alex Smith. I put the Chiefs in at number 9. Number 8 is the Raiders. Could have been higher up on the list. But the last 20 years have not been great. A Super Bowl appearance or 2 along the way, not a lot of wins. But the early success of the 70s and 80s, to me, had to make the list. I put the Raiders. They've got 2 Hall of Fame coaches in that mix with Tom Flores and John Madden. Again, a great history and a lot of success for the first 20 years of this list. So the Raiders make it at number 8. My number 7 team is my beloved Big Blue New York Football Giants. 4 Super Bowls, 5 appearances. You've had Hall of Fame coaches. You got 2. You got Parcells, and you got Tom Coughlin's going to get in there one of these days. Belichick is a Hall of Famer on the team. You got Carson, you got Taylor. You're going to have Eli in there someday. This franchise with 4 and 5 appearances, that Giants had to make the list, so they're at number 7. My number 6 team, the Broncos. The success of the 70s into the 80s. Even though they didn't win them, they were there. 90s, they won a couple with Elway. And then again, some success in the 2000s with Peyton. Enough Super Bowl wins. Elway, Peyton Manning, Mike Shanahan, Dan Reeves. They make my list at number 6. Jeff, at number 5, the San Francisco 49ers. And you can stop me if you want to critique it along the way. I apologize.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
The Niners, you got 2 Super Bowl Hall of Famers. You got 2 Hall of Fame, one Hall of Fame and one really good coach in George Seifert. Obviously, Walsh is all time. 5 Super Bowls, headed to possibly 6 if they win this week. The Niners have to be on that list. They make it at number 5. Number 4, the Green Bay Packers, Titletown, 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, Bart Starr, Brett Favre, and soon to be Aaron Rodgers. 4 titles. You got Vince Lombardi, one of the great, if not the greatest coach of all time. Titletown, USA has to be on my list at number 4, Green Bay Packers. Number 3, the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, this bothered me to put it on it, but the Cowboys in the 70s were in the Super Bowl, felt like every year. Cowboys in the 80s were a good team, not great, but Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett, and that crowd. The Cowboys in the 90s, 3 Super Bowls, and they've been consistently a good team, not great. I had to put the Cowboys. They've got 6 titles. I think it's 6 titles or 5 titles at this point. I think it's 6. Cowboys had to make my list at number 3. Top 2 teams, Jeff. Here's where it got a little dicey for me. Went back and forth, and I chose the Steelers at number 1. So the Patriots become my number 2. Obviously, the last 20-something years of the Patriots can't be pushed away. Free agency rampant, salary cap, and they managed to keep 2 of the biggest pieces of the puzzle locked up for a long time. Obviously, Brady's Hall of Fame, and Belichick's all-time, maybe the greatest coach of all time. 6 titles and countless division titles and AFC championships. So they're number 2. I went with the Steelers because one reason. Consistency. 3 coaches. Since that era, Chuck Noll to Bill Cowher to Mike Tomlin. And I know that Steeler fans seem to hate Mike Tomlin, Jeff. The guy does nothing but bring in winners.
Listen, their argument is so invalid.
Yeah. Again, I get that the guy's vanilla. I get it that they consistently come up short, but you never see 2, 3, 4, 5 wins. Their worst is they're 8-8, or they're 9-8. They skim into the playoffs and they lose. I tell you that, I'll take titles over it. If you told me, do I want consistency for 10 years or 2 titles in 10 years? I'll take the 2 titles. But if I got if I got to have, no titles and a bunch of competitive seasons, I'll take what Mike Tomlin's offering any day of the week. I think the guy's going to be a Hall of Fame coach when it's done. So it'll have 3, almost 60 years, Jeff, 3 coaches. All of them are going to be Hall of Famers. All of them have Super Bowl titles. To me, the Steelers of the Super Bowl era are the greatest team, greatest franchise.
It's a valid argument, without a doubt.
Okay, so that's my top 10, Jeff. And I gave you 3 teams that didn't make the list, but were close. So I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Well, listen, my top 10, I started off, I gave the Vikings 10th place.
Okay. I can
Any
see it.
team that could make the Super Bowl 4 times within 10, 11 years of its inception, that to me is pretty big. That's almost half the time they were in the playoffs. Yes, they were 0-4 during that time, but they made it.
Yep.
And they used to be a big team. And like you said, I know that anything less than being in the Super Bowl really doesn't do much to get you as one of the best teams on the list, but I think they got to be recognized even without a win. Number 9, I went with the Packers, only because they don't have enough wins to be
interesting
on the list.
Okay.
Actually don't even have that many Super Bowl appearances. They won the first 2, and then they had 4 altogether. They're 3-1, and I'm sorry, 4-1.
4-1.
Because Aaron Rodgers won one also.
That's correct. Yeah, 4-1.
Number 8, the Buffalo Bills, to go in 40 times in a row. As good as some of these teams are that we're speaking about on these lists, Buffalo Bills are the only ones to ever go 4 years in a row to the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Okay, that is a dominant feat, even though you did not win anything. Dominant. That's all I could say. Number 7, I got the Bengals.
Interesting. Okay.
The reason why is, they went in there with Ken Anderson. They went in there with Boomer Esiason. They played a classic game against the 49ers. Now they got Joe Burrow. He's been into a Super Bowl. Unfortunately, they've never won.
Right.
I think they won. Well, no, they never won a Super Bowl.
0-3.
But they've been in there with 3 different quarterbacks and 3 different eras of the NFL.
Sure,
So
absolutely.
I felt as though they needed to be in there. Number 6, I got the Patriots.
Wow, that low.
Yes, they've won, but they also got beat by the same team twice, the Giants. They lost to Chicago. They might have been in the Super Bowl more than any other team. And but there's what was it? The 49ers or Cowboys have 6 wins also.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got to keep that in mind. Number 5, the 49ers. Tom, I found it hard to keep the 49ers out of the top 3, maybe even the top spot.
Mm-hmm.
They've done it so many times and have so many Hall of Famers and Hall of Fame caliber players play in those Super Bowls. They have to make the list.
I agree. They were my top 5 too. They're my 5th place team too.
Next for me is the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Dallas Cowboys is another team. Yeah, they haven't been in there in a while, but you're right. At one point in time, it was like they were constantly in its Super Bowl, it seemed.
Absolutely.
Like they built the season around them, put them in the Super Bowl, and let everybody else fight it out for the final spot, it seemed, for how long. Number 3, I got the Steelers. Okay. Yeah, they haven't had the success of the early 70s teams. They went to the Super Bowl for 2 years in a row twice. So, that is an accomplishment. They've won a couple since then. All their coaches, like you said, have been consistent. They've been successful. The Steeler fans, I really don't know what they want. When you had Tom Brady and Peyton Manning in the league, and yet you still were a Super Bowl favorite year after year after year, that says something for the coaching, regardless of who the coach was. It's still, giving props to the coach. I understand they're upset they didn't get in there, but please, I'll trade places with you any day of the week, man. Any day of the week.
Absolutely.
Okay. Number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. They are now a modern-day dynasty with 5 Super Bowl trips or AFC Championship games and trips in the last 5 or 6 years. An incredible run as far as football goes, especially in today with the salary cap and everything else. If Mahomes stays healthy, who knows what he'll end up doing by the time his career is over. I think that once you get to a certain point, people are going to hate you no matter what you do. So Patrick Mahomes is hoping you make it to the top and knock Brady out of his spot.
Okay.
That brings us to number 1.
That's interesting. Go ahead. Oh boy, you can't even do this with a straight face. You can't possibly put your team, the most dilapidated, ridiculous franchise in history, at number 1. You can't possibly do it. Oh,
I'll tell you why. The Jets
You're embarrassed.
are the best team of the Super Bowl era. I'll tell you why they are the greatest team of the Super Bowl era. They're the most important team of the Super Bowl era. Okay, the New York Jets came in as 17-point underdogs. A young, brash man by the name of Joe Namath sat by a pool and said, I guarantee that we're going to win this game. I think we could win this game. I guarantee it. And he went out there and he delivered. Okay. What he also did is he took 2 leagues and blended them together, the AFL and the NFL. Okay. It showed that David can beat Goliath any day of the week, especially if he's wearing green and white to be specific. All right. I give the Jets the greatest team in the Super Bowl era. Even though they have 1 win, I still say they're the most important, the greatest, and shall never be topped by anyone. That is it. That is my top 10.
Got your top 10.
I could have done a 1 and a 1A. I would have given it both. I would have given it to the Jets and then the Jets again.
I want to take this moment to apologize to everybody for this fictitious, fake list that Jeff put out. Any list that has the Jets as the top
It
franchise.
is. It's right there, man. It's right there.
I get it. It's embarrassing to even put this. They can't even boast of a decent quarterback in this list. Not most people can't name 3 Jet coaches in this era that were anything decent. And this is what the best player in the last 57 years is a broken down running back named Freeman McNeil. Is probably their best player. It's embarrassing.
Dude, your best player, you got Joe Klecko, you got Darrell Revis, you got, oh my God, there's so many.
There's so many, can't think of another one.
Huh?
What a disgrace. I have to tell you,
Curtis Martin.
I'm almost embarrassed for you. Most people just are understanding, like, oh, it's just Jeff being Jeff.
Curtis Martin. Come on, man.
I am embarrassed to say that I am standing on this screen with you. I am embarrassed. I can't. I knew this when I did it. I even was nice. I didn't even mention the Jets because I was going to start out with, you notice there's one team that's not on any of those writers' lists. Nobody picked the Jets even in their top 50, and there's only 32 teams. Like, I didn't even get into any of that. I tried, and he just has to just square peg in a round hole and force this horrendous conversation. Can you say that the 69 Jets are one of the most important teams of all time? Yes.
Enough. No more needs to be said.
Are the Jets franchise in the top 32? Barely. If there was a 33rd team, the Jets might make a top 32. I would tell you I am shocked and appalled and apologize for my co-host and partner for embarrassing the show this way. We'll move on.
It's real deal stuff, man. You don't want to understand it. You really don't. You don't want to understand it.
All right. It's almost a shame.
It's a shame.
We're going to have to close up the show in a few minutes. But in the meantime, that's Jeff and I'm Tom. And we're embarrassed to say that we do the Hard Rock and Sports Show together. But anyway, we are celebrating 9 years. We're creeping up on 10 come this July. Hopefully there'll be a live event that we could do our show at. But we'll see how that works out. In the meantime, sit tight. We got months ahead. We got baseball next week. We got a lot of stuff. And I'm going to work on some guests. I have been working on guests. And hopefully we'll start to get a few more people along the way. In the meantime, it'll be Jeff and myself every Thursday night having our weekly conversations. It could be a lot of social stuff. It could be a lot of politics. We could hit you with some music. We'll come at you from every direction. Yeah, remember, Big Nose Kate's on the 17th. Jeff and the Ramorons and the Johnny Collins Band will be there to provide you with some great entertainment. So make sure you check that out. And be on the lookout for Jeff's upcoming project with the Alice in Chains tribute band.
Well, there's another band that can't make its mind up if they want to practice or not.
Well, listen, I would think there's two things to a band that's got to be at this point in our lives the toughest thing. One is picking songs and everybody agreeing on them. Now, when you're an Alice in Chains tribute band or a Ramones tribute band, it kind of makes it easy because you're stuck with one band. But in a general band like you do with 25 Missions or some of the other bands, you get to this point in your life, people get tired of the same old songs, finding new ones, finding something different. To me, it's got to be the toughest thing. And then also getting people to show up at practice once a week or so has to be the second hardest thing.
I do not understand it. I picked up an instrument not to sit in my house and play, but to play with others and try to sound as good as we possibly can. And nobody wants to do that. And I understand life gets in the way and people get older and it's like, I don't want to go out now. I don't want to do this. But I mean, once you're there and playing, I have a great time. I love to play. And my only problem with playing is that I'm going to be 58 years old in July. And I realize that my time of doing this is winding down. And I don't know how much longer that I'm going to want to do it, but I know that I want to do it for as long as I can. And a lot of people don't feel that way.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I want to play. I want to have a good time. I want to go out there and just have fun. What is the point of sitting in your house and playing along to a fucking CD player or YouTube if you're not gonna? How you doing, Mike? If you're not gonna go out and have fun and play for other people.
No, I get it. I also understand that it's harder at this age to get out there. Now, I would tell you that I have very little interest in doing a regular, year-round band thing. Not that anybody's breaking down the door for me to do that. I'm just saying for myself, the thought of getting back into it and doing it on a regular basis is hard. I have so much, I work. If I was retired or had a different job where maybe my hours were less and I didn't do as much traveling, but I get the point. And to me, I think there's others who don't do it for different reasons. And I agree. Guys like yourself who are talented and have the drive to do it, I say do it as long as you can. It's a shame that there's not, but it's a tough thing to think for me, work all day and then 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, I got to stick around and go practice for 2 hours and then get home at 10 o'clock at night and then get up for 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work. That's the tough part.
I understand that it's tough at sometimes, but it's tough getting old too and still wanting to do something.
No, of course. And listen, you do it while you can because you can't always do it. And, I get it. But I think that's tough. But I think the other part is picking songs. At this point, you're doing it forever. Do you want to keep playing Maiden songs? You don't really like 80s stuff. If you don't like this, you don't like that. Like getting a band that plays the right songs has to be the next toughest thing to do.
Listen, finding people that say, yeah, they'll get into it and learn how to play the songs is hard enough,
Yeah, no, I get the hard parts, and I give you guys credit. Again, I get home, it's 6 o'clock, and sometimes it's hard just to go in a room and pick up the guitar and practice. I get pumped up for the show to do what we're doing in March, and I'll play a lot for the next month, and then that'll be over, and then I'll go, all right, what's my incentive to play again? And then I might not pick the guitar up for a month. So, I get it. And I hope you do it forever because I know that's what you love to do. And I just know it's got to be the two toughest things, putting the band together in today's day and age. By the way, I haven't heard much about it, but April's coming and it's supposed to be the This Is Spinal Tap movie coming out. I haven't heard.
The movie's not coming out until maybe next year. They're starting to film the movie.
Okay, I didn't hear if it was supposed to be out this year. I know with the writers' strike and this and that. I didn't know if it got pushed. I hope nobody dies so we get the show. We get this out there. I am hoping that as a group, we could get a very large group of people to go see This Is Spinal Tap 2.
We may be the only ones in the theater.
Oh, listen, you know what? If it was up to me, I'd rent the theater out and have a party and invite 100 of our closest friends.
It would be different. It would be nice.
Yes. So we'll see. I will check that out and see what the latest is on that. We'll report back to you guys for next week. Other than that, Jeff, we made our picks. We both liked the Chiefs this week. I gave a little more of a detail than you would care to do. I guess we'll see what everybody says. And of course, everybody can, I'll be throwing up some bets. So if you want to make a bet and you want my picks, reach out and I'll tell you what I'm doing. Or if you don't have your own account, you need to throw a bet in. And if I like you, maybe I'll help you out. So in the meantime, this Saturday, Jeff and I will be back with John Marhefka. We'll do one last round of the Sunday Audible. So tune in this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. for the Sunday Audible with Jeff, myself, and John Marhefka right here on the Hard Rocket Sports Network. And, of course, before we go, we got to do one last one. Do not forget to get your own Sunday Audible fragrance. And you can only do that by going to Hemp Wizard Beer Company and hempwizard.net for their great line of beard care and skincare products. Maybe you don't have anybody in your house with a beard like Jeff, who is a proud user and endorser of the product line, and he'll tell you more about it. But they do have a tremendous skincare line, Strawberry Switchblade and others. Go to hempwizard.net, see Mike Weissman and his great products. Jeff, tell him you just got a whole shipment in.
Yeah, I like Cushman's and this other one, Believe. It smells like a campfire, like wearing marshmallows. I use that one a lot. I got the rinse or the wash for both, beard and the oils. So like this morning, I used the Believe, and my beard still has a little bit of a smell of campfire to it. I like that one for the winter, but now the weather is starting to change, it feels like. So I don't know. I got to see what happens if I'm going to continue to use that one or just put it off to the side till it starts getting colder again later in the year. I like that one where you got there in your hand, Sunday Audible. Smells peaches, leather, vanilla. Good. He does nice stuff, man. Quality stuff.
And
Really is.
I believe Mike's a vet, and he does a lot for the community, for rescuing animals, for the veterans of this country. Mike's a true American, and if you're going to support small businesses, please make it Hemp Wizard. And they're a great line of skincare and beard care products. And you'll be doing a great service to yourself and to helping out Mike and his great company. I would say that, and specifically buy the Sunday Audible stuff, man. I want Mike to know that our product line is a great one, and maybe he'll do another mass production of Sunday Audible, and maybe actually Jeff and I will get some cash out of it one of these days.
I'm happy for Mike, and
absolutely,
I know he has a few things going on with his business and is heading the right way, and good for him, man. It's well deserved. He puts a lot of effort into it, and listen, it's packaged really nice. It comes in a timely fashion. There's never any issues. He takes care of everything. He gives you tracking numbers. He gives you everything you need to get your stuff. Great stuff. I love it.
Yep. So go to hempwizard.net. Tell them that the Hard Rocket Sports Show sent you, or even better, tell them that Jeff Tolwinski sent you, and get your products. I got a couple bottles. I got 2 of these bad boys. I gave one away. I'll keep one, and I will be buying some more stuff soon. But anyway, that's it for this week's show. We've had a great 2 hours. It flies right by. Remember, the Hard Rocket Sports Show has endorsed Donald Trump already. Even if he doesn't run, if he gets arrested and thrown in jail, we're still going to endorse Donald Trump. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really been following that stuff because for a while it looked like something bad was going to happen. Then it looked like it backed off. But it looks like it's picking up some steam.
It is picking up steam. So
might not be good for Donnie.
It might not be. I don't know, but I have a hard time believing he'll do an EJL time or even be convicted in any courts. But listen, we'll let it play out. Either way, the Hard Rocket Sports Show itself, not Jeff. This is strictly for the show. The show is endorsing Donald Trump, not Joe Biden or anybody that has a D next to their name. So that's how it goes. I personally will endorse my man Donnie Trump. I know this is 2020, but I got to get a new hat. But that's my man. And that's who I'll be voting for. If he's in jail, I'll write his name in. I don't care. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys have had a great time with us. We love doing this every week, and we love to kind of make you laugh a little bit and entertain and inform you. And we try to do that every week. So, Jeff, I'll give you the final word. You got anything you want to end with?
Oh, looking forward to the wife's chili and the shrimp cocktail as usual.
Nice. Yeah.
And, looking forward to the Super Bowl. So it's always a lot of fun. She takes care of us.
Well, I'm sure I'll be on the thread with a few guys. I seem to Jeff and Maddie and Frankie Jeffrey and John Marhefka. We're always chatting the football, so I'm sure we'll be back and forth during this game. And hopefully there'll be a little juice. And if you're a Swiftie or a fan of Taylor Swift, I'm sure you'll enjoy the game and have a little fun. So anyway, that's it for the show. So I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in. Everybody here, Mike Weissman, Nancy, David Burns, Robert, Adam, everybody else along the way who's been hitting me on privately and agreeing with all the things I said, especially about the Jets suck. Thank you for reaching out to me. Thank you very much. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and a great week next week. Come on back to the Hard Rocket Sports Show next Thursday night from 7 to 9 when we get to do this all over again. So for Jeff Talwinski, myself, and everybody here at the Hard Rock and Sports Show, have a great night, and we will see you Thursday. Jeff, talk to you after, my brother.
You got it, man. Be good and enjoy your weekend, bro.
All right, I'll talk to you.
Later.